Hello everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video. So today I am of course in the craft journal. Now before I say anything else, you'll notice that I have put some tape down the middle of this book. So this craft journal had come a bit loose in the middle and some of the signatures were a little bit wobbly. So I've used some of that like paper tape that's gummed on one side, and if you wet it you can then stick it down. Because it's the craft sort of colour, it doesn't interfere too much with the background. So it's just helping just steady that spine a little bit. Then I've added some clear gesso onto the background. This is to try and help the gloss spray colours stay as true as possible and not sink into the background too much. And then I'm going in with some gloss sprays and I'm just doing some blobs, I guess you'd call them. So started off with ruby and then tangelo, lemon, and this is lime, and I'm just dabbing where they're kind of bleeding into each other, particularly where colours that will make a muddy colour. I don't really want that to happen. So if they're just kind of bleeding too much, then I'm I am dabbing them with a tissue, not blobbing. Oh my goodness me. One thing you do need to be really careful of, that I have found and I've had a couple of disasters with, is where the gloss sprays leak into the spine of the book. It can bleed through and stick other pages together, so you do need to be really careful of that. I have had that happen, and in fact I do have a video to share on my channel where I show that happened and what I did to fix it. So just a little word of warning there. So I've also used turquoise, orchid, this is blackberry, just kind of adding those colours into the background, and then you notice just being a little bit careful over the spine. This is magenta as well. Also, you might notice some of my gloss sprays are not in the original bottles. They got really sort of to the point where they wouldn't spray properly, and I tried cleaning them with the Murphy's oil soap, but it didn't work, and I just got so frustrated I decided to buy some more bottles. I got some empty ones off Amazon, and I've just popped the gloss sprays into them and then labelled them up. So, and actually, to be honest, they are still working pretty well. So this page is quite saturated. I decided I would let it run, so I'm just tipping it up on its end and letting it drip down the page a little bit, and then adding some more deliberate drips in there as well. So this is quite a full-on colourful background at the moment. So I knew that I was going to do some masking with this page, so I wasn't really bothered about the fact that I hadn't left any of the craft background showing. I'm then using this circle stencil from Dina Wakley, going in with the permanent red violet light from Amsterdam Acrylic, and I'm just adding some more colours onto that background. This is also an Amsterdam Acrylic paint colour, and this one is called Ultramarine Violet, and again I'm just adding some more stenciling there. So I'm just adding the stenciling on top of this colour because the more interest going on in the bits that are going to peep through the masking, the better. This is a really pale pink, I think it's called Pale Rose, also from Amsterdam Acrylic. That pink is very similar to Carnation from Dina Wakley. This looks like Cheddar, I think this is Cheddar from Dina Wakley, and this is the stencil from Dina called Pieces, which is one of the more recent ones that came out. And I've used a makeup sponge to apply those to the page. Then I am using lemon, and again going in with that Pieces stencil. So I'm just building up the pattern and interest that's going on this page. So then I'm going to be using a stencil from Megan Wisner Quinlan, which she sells in her Etsy shop, which has got the hands on it. I'm just splattering some white paint onto the background as well. So I'm going to use the stencil to make a mask. So what I did was I drew through it, the stencil, onto some Kraft cardstock and cut them out. And then I am just going to use this as a mask. So I'm using black paint and a blending sponge, and going round the hand. I'm going to have them sort of coming onto the page around the edge. I've done one of the big hands and one of the small hands. And then that's it, you can see, and then I am going to stencil those all the way round the page. What's great about this technique is that you get your focal point, but you also manage to keep some of the lovely background that you've created, and it can be quite a striking way to create a page as well. if you're not too precious about your background. I know sometimes I make some of you cringe, don't I, when I get the black paint out. You're like, oh my days, what is she doing? But here you can still see plenty of the background showing through, and it actually draws your attention, focuses it in a bit more to those areas where you can see the pretty colours and details in the background. Okay, so then once it's dry, that's the key with this pen really. Once it's dry, I'm then going in with the Signo Uniball in white, and I'm just outlining those hands. I'm keeping it light and sketchy. I'm not worrying about whether I'm absolutely on the lines or not. All I want to do here is just to pop those hands out a little bit from the background so that they're a little bit more in the foreground. And because the white is such a great contrast with the black, it does that job. And then I'm going in with my Posca pen, and I'm just adding a few dots around the edge of the page. This just softens that area where the black paint comes from, makes it not quite such a harsh transition between the colour and the black. And then of course I'm going in with the Signo Uniball as well and doing some smaller dots too. And then that again has the effect of softening those larger dots. So once I'd finished with the white dots, I then went in with a fluorescent pink pen. This one is the Molotow One for All acrylic pen in neon pink. I've been trying to find a Posca pen in neon pink, and it was nearly impossible to get hold of one everywhere I was looking in the UK. So I came across this brand and decided I would give it a try, and actually quite impressed with it so far, and I think I might even try some of their other ones. So I will keep you posted on that to see how they work. So this is one of my favourite text stamps. It's from Darkroom Door. It's got some fantastic scripty writing on it. I really like that. So I've just done a little bit of stamping, only using small areas of the stamp for that. And then I'm just adding a bit of that fluorescent pink pen, just smudging it with my finger, and that just brightens some of the areas of pink in there, in those hands. And then I am using the Signo Uniball and writing my text in the middle of the page. The great thing about creating those masks as well, as you can see they're on the right hand side there, I've covered them in black completely, and I will use those on another project, so they have been useful twice. So then once my words were in the middle, that was pretty much the page done. So you can see how well those colours pop with the black there and the white, the contrast going on. Worked really well. I really enjoyed creating this page. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you again soon.